Hey everybody, time for a little update video on a couple of things on my recent travels and my personal situation regarding my physical health. I can be very short and brief about my travel lately. There has been none. Long story short, I was supposed to come back from a trip to the Faroe Islands today, Friday the 26th of September. I would have been there for 8 days. Let's rewind real quick. I've been to the Faroe Islands many times before for photo workshops and other assignments, and a couple of years ago I've been talking to the kind people of Visit Suðuroy for a commission shoot, basically, where I would visit Suðuroy Island and capture the island in a couple of days. They would book me for this, and I would dedicate a trip to the Faroe Islands, to Suðuroy Island, which is the southernmost island of the Faroe Islands, by the way, alone. So yeah, spending some time there. This was already during COVID times, so obviously this didn't happen the first time. Then I think this is the trip that has had the most postponements and delays and cancellations so far, and I haven't been yet. So the timeline is still going on. So the first time it got cancelled was because of COVID. The second time was because I had some things going on at home, not related to my physical health, but I think it was just very busy times, lots of work, some workshops, some other travels, things like that. Then another time that it got cancelled was for similar reasons. I can't even remember. It happened so like 3 or 4 times. And then again, I would have been there this week, and everything was booked, everything was in place. I was feeling fit enough to make the trip. For those of you who know, I'm dealing with a herniated disc in my back for 8 months now already, something like that, which has been really tough, and I've been in a really bad place. So I automatically transition into that part of the video now. That has been going better recently. So I'm talking about the last 6 or 8 weeks. They have been significantly better compared to earlier this year and like when it was winter and spring. Something changed in June or early July. I am seeing an osteopath, and he kind of changed his approach a little bit more. He introduced more chiropractic kind of treatments to my back, which I responded quite well to. I was at least able to be more active in a way that the pain was not, a big factor. So I think I was just slowly building up to a more comfortable place and getting back to, normal is still a big word. Like I'm not there yet where I want to be at all. But yeah, it has been improving ever since. Unfortunately, though, for the past 2 weeks or something like that, I'm experiencing quite a drop, a backlash or back, whatever you call it. The pain is back more, not compared to earlier this year, but I think if I have to be honest, it is the worst it has been since, June, somewhere like that. And I noticed that takes quite a hit on me mentally. Start to worry again, and all these questions come up like, will this ever be over, and will I ever heal from this, and am I strong enough, and will I manage, and how am I going to cope with just being able to do the things I want to do if this pain is always there, and even if it gets better, it will come back, and will it come back this way, and will the intensity be the same? Because there has been a few days during these past 2 weeks where I was just grounded again, basically at home, where I couldn't do too much other than just being around the house and nothing else. I still have like fairly okay days where I can do basic stuff, but yeah, it's like, I think it's part of the recovery, and it is okay that it's taking time. Like it's 8 months now, so 2 or 3 weeks of a step back is nothing too crazy, I guess, but it just takes a toll on me mentally. But back to the Faroe Islands, this is not the reason why I haven't been. Like a week ago, I felt confident enough with painkillers and my physical ability at that time to just make the trip and go. I would have to adapt a little bit, take it slower and hike a little bit slower and maybe not as far, and take some more rest in between and try to focus on sleep, which is always important. But you know what I mean, like with some adaptations, I was fairly confident that I was going to make that trip, and I was looking forward to it a lot. As you know by now, it has been postponed for so many times, and this would have been my first trip to the Nordics this year, and it's like September, so you can imagine that I'm very eager and hungry to go out. But I'm dragging this along very long already now. This video is already 7 minutes. The reason why I'm not there, of why I haven't been to the Faroe Islands, is because of logistical reasons. The island of Suðuroy is basically only reachable by a ferry that takes your car ferry. And the Faroes, they have great transport system. Like the roads are good. They have, I think, the best tunnels in the world, together with Norway. Their ferries are usually really good as well, until their own ferries need to, and that is normal, need to go out for maintenance every now and then. So their own ferry, the Smiril is the name, I think, is currently in Denmark for 8 to 10 weeks for its checkup. I don't know if it's an annual checkup or what interval there is, but it is in Denmark for maintenance. That's fine. The problem is that the replacing ferry is a boat or a ship from Cyprus or Greece. That alone is already like quite interesting. Like the Faroe Islands is a North European country with other countries around it that have ferries. Thinking about Norway, Scotland, or Iceland even. Maybe not Iceland, they don't really have like car ferries, but I would think Scotland or Norway, even Denmark, which is related to Faroes in a way. So, okay, this could be a financial choice to get a ferry from Cyprus or Greece, but I heard from some of my friends from the Faroe Islands that the company or government, I don't know who decides these things, so let's say the ferry company, was just too late in organizing a replacing boat, so they ended up with having to go with this option. And even though it's strange, that should not matter, because the ferry that runs right now is a ferry that can take cars and make the crossing. But here's the thing, this ferry is used to sailing on the Mediterranean Sea, and of course every ocean and every sea has various types of weather and conditions. But I would think like the ocean around the Faroe Islands, the North Atlantic, in autumn times, actually right now, is a much different and more dynamic place weather-wise compared to the Mediterranean. So your boat has to be able to sail in these conditions. And this replacing ferry from Greece or Cyprus or wherever it is from is not. It is being cancelled all the time. Like if the height of the waves increase, I don't know, I've been talking to some locals, and one guy says if it's more than 4 meters of waves height, the boat can't go. The other guy says it's 12 meters. Not interested in the exact number. The result is, anyways, like this ferry cannot operate and run and sail in Faroese weathers most of the time. It's being cancelled like almost daily, or it has 3 or 4 departures either from Tórshavn or Faroe in Suðuroy, and half of them or all of them, whatever, are being cancelled. And on top of that, and what for me was a very big, or maybe even the biggest reason to not go to the Faroe Islands, was that this boat is also just not really safe, because it is a much older boat than their own ferry, and that does not have to be a problem, but that just doesn't sit well with me. It's like, a ship that is not built for these waters, who's much older. I don't want to discriminate, but maybe there's different safety and maintenance standards in that part of the world compared to the Nordics or the Netherlands, where I'm from. I have no clue. I'm no expert on this. I know nothing about boats. just have my own thoughts and using logic sense. But it was reported that in the beginning of September, this ferry made a crossing from Tórshavn to Suðuroy with the gate open, the lid, the part where the cars drive on, that has to open for the cars to drive on, and then it closes. But it didn't shut completely, and the boat was just out on the ocean making its trip. It is highly illegal, I've read, to operate your boat like that. It was not even allowed to leave the port, and it is absolutely very dangerous. Like, if water comes in, the weight of the boat shifts. I don't want to be talking about what kind of tragedies and whatever could happen, but you know where I'm coming from. Like, this is just not right. And so all of this news came to me on the day when I was packing my bags to go to the Faroes. I was talking to the very kind people of Visit Suðuroy. Like, I will be there on Friday at this time. I will come by to your office and say hello, and we talk our plans through and things like that. I was talking to some locals, like, hey, can we meet, blah, blah, blah. And then all of them together with some news that I saw popping up on social media, because I follow what's going on in the Faroes quite intensively. Everything was about this ferry all of a sudden, about its cancellations and the weather forecast, and all these articles came up on how safe or not safe this boat was. And I've heard from a local that the people from Suðuroy, they went to the ferry harbor on their island to protest. It was a peaceful protest, I can imagine. But they are really against the usage of this ferry as well. They protested, and I think they also protested in Tórshavn, the capital of the Faroe Islands. I don't have any details about what exactly happened. I only know from the people from Visit Suðuroy and one of my friends from Tórshavn that there were protests, and all of these things accumulated to me, together with Visit Suðuroy, deciding like, hey, this is not the right time for me to visit. Very sad about it, of course, because again I had to to cancel and actually cancel this time, because it was so last minute. There was no chance to rebook anything or things like that. So just a straight up cancellation. But I didn't feel like showing up in the harbor in Tórshavn, where there's already this somewhat political situation, and show up as a tourist and just be ignorant and go on board this ferry and make the trip, and also risk not making the ferry on time, or being stuck on Suðuroy because of delays and cancellations, and missing my flight, and all of the logistical hassle that would come with that, which is not the end of the world if it happens. But if you can prevent that, then I think you should do that. Like, I want to go as carefree as possible on these trips. I want to focus on my work and deliver a quality job, and I cannot deal with unnecessary logistical issues like that. I mean, stuff always happens. You have no control over these things. I get that, and I'm happy to take that risk in general. But if you know beforehand that you're getting stuck or not being able to reach your destination for 75%, then what's the point, you know? That would be a waste of time and money also. So we had to cancel and postpone. And right now we're focusing on June next year. Their own ferry will be back then, and it's summertime, so the weather is a little bit milder. Well, anything can happen in the Faroes all year round, but it should be a little bit milder. And there's actually a festival on Suðuroy there, a cultural event that I will be capturing, which is a bonus of maybe not going now, but going next year. I will be able to cover that event. And yeah, I think that sums up the situation that I'm in for the most part. So yeah, my physical health, we talked about that. It's getting better, even though I made a few steps backward. Today is okay-ish. I took my usual amount of painkillers again. I was able to cut down on that every now and then for the past 2 months. But yesterday, I don't know if that was smart, but yesterday I skipped all of them. I didn't take any painkillers, and I had a day in at home. So I didn't have to be anywhere, and I could sit or lay down or move around as well or bad as I could and wanted. And I kind of wanted to test the waters. Faroese waters? No. I wanted to check out where I was at physically by just, feeling the pain without painkillers. And it was quite rough. Like, it was not a pleasant experience, and really, brought me back mentally to 3-4 months ago. But today I have been taking my pain meds normal again, like the prescribed. Sorry, it is 12 o'clock, bedtime soon. 3 times a day, normal dosage, and I noticed that I can at least be on my feet more and quicker and a little bit better compared to yesterday. So I guess I'm just going back to, not trying to skip, and just for the next couple of days take my my normal dosage of painkillers to try and get back to moving around as normal as possible again. And hopefully then I will connect again, or get back to that point where I was. This video is getting close to 20 minutes right now of me rambling on about the same thing again and again. So I'm going to end it here right now. If you made it to this point of the video, thank you very much. If not, I don't blame you. It's just me talking and sharing my daily stuff and my current situation, and either you're interested in that or not. It's both is fine. So for now, have a good night. I'm off to bed, and we'll see you guys in a new video. This video is, by the way, recorded on the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 with a wireless mic that I'm using right now, testing out how that works. I like the setup. I put this thing on my desk on a little tripod. You attach the microphone to your clothing or hold it in your hand, and it has a face tracking option. So that's all cool. Yeah, good night from me, and see you guys next time. Bye bye.